Hi. Okay, so I'm gonna try this recording myself. I am at work today. Disregard, we got a little Christmas early in the office, but I'm downtown today at work. I know, right? Crazy, huh? So I wanted to do kind of like a vlog. Um, I get kind of winded, so that's probably the only symptom I'm really having is just winded, which could also be from being overweight. So it's kind of hard to tell where it's coming from. So I wanted to do a one-stop shop where I can kind of tell the story and then so I don't have to repeat it over and over again. And then I'm sure a lot of my friends think I'm going a little bit crazy because sometimes I tell them stories I've already told before and I'm like, okay, it's getting wild. Now I'm just wasting breath. So we'll call this What Had Happened Was. So what had happened was I um I am seen at the VA hospital. That's my primary care provider. Love the VA. And I am overweight and wanted to do the Wegovy. And the VA is all like, yes, sister, let's put you on it. So we'll just mute that. Sorry. Um, So I was going to do the Wegovy. So they do blood work and everything was perfect. And they're like, oh my gosh, you're like the healthiest fat person ever. But they were like, your cholesterol is kind of high. Like we might have to put you on medicine. And they're like, let's check like the plaque in I guess it's in my heart, my arteries in my heart. But they were going to do a scan. And big props to the VA because a civilian doctor probably would never scan you for high cholesterol. Like, who does a scan for that? So I went in for a scan and it was May. You know what? Let's get precise with this. I would like to give precise dates. Let's look at the exact date on this. May 28th was a Thursday. At 8:30 a.m., I went in for a scan for high cholesterol and, got in the machine and everything. And then, like, I think they waited a little. No, it might have been the next day. Next day called me and they're like, hey, bravo, you have zero plaque in your arteries. And I was like, great. They started me on the Wegovy. But they also said, hey, we saw some pulmonary nodules, like several, like they said innumerable in your lungs. But they were like, nothing to worry about. They said like 1 out of 3 scans, people have these pulmonary nodules. It's probably an infection you're getting over, blah, blah, blah. And they said, we'll scan you again. So that was May 28th. They scheduled me for the next scan, not until July 18th, because one thing about the VA is they are always busy. There are a lot of veterans in need. So I waited a long time, I think because I didn't think it was that like important. So July 18th, it was a Saturday, which is a little weird. Yes, they scan on Saturdays. 9 a.m. I got another scan. It was the same lung scan. They couldn't use the old lung scan. For some reason, they have to like, new people have to read it. It's literally done the same exact way, but I still don't understand that. But if you're in the medical field, maybe you get it. So I did the scan again, and they were like, whoa, yeah, something's going on. You have all these pulmonary nodules. Some of them, like, there was like one right about here, it was like the size of a walnut. There was lots of, one day maybe I'll upload my chart, but there were some big ones. And they're like, while we were scanning your lungs, we caught the top of your liver. And it has like a 1.2 centimeter lesion on it, and that's concerning. So then they're like, we're going to need to scan your abdomen. So the next scan was July 27th. And that was a Monday. And they did this one with the contrast. It makes it feel like you're going to pee on yourself. So they did like an abdominal scan on that. And that's when, so they were still kind of like, sorry, I'm going to go back a little bit. They were still like, okay, it could be an infection that's spread. There's this thing called histoplasmosis. It may have come into your lungs and then spread to your liver. Quite common in the Midwest. Something about bird droppings, and I was like, what? I don't even like birds. Like, I saw birds when I was really little, like Alfred Hitchcock, and I just don't really. I was always told, don't touch that bird. That bird's got diseases, so I'm just not a bird person. So I'm like, I don't. They're like, have you been in any like demolition areas or construction? And I'm like, no, not that I know of. So maybe I have this histoplasmosis. But anyway, okay. July 27th, they do the scan of my pelvis with the contrast, and they're like, we think we see the primary tumor. It's in your pancreas, and it's big. It's like the mama. They also said that my lymph nodes were enlarged. So now it's in my lungs, lymph nodes, liver, pancreas. So then I go for a PET scan. They basically had said, yeah, this is probably going straight to oncology, because it was in my pancreas and that looked like the place it originated. They had kind of mentally ruled out the lung infection. So they sent me for a PET scan, full body. And that's when they found it in my lungs, in my liver, in my pancreas, in my lymph nodes, in my spinal cord. They found a blood clot that delivers blood to my spleen. So it was like obstructing it. They found some other things too. They found like a uterine fibroid. I mean, it was like kind of minor stuff compared to what was going on, but it was like a train wreck inside of my body. So after that, what is the next big event? Next big event is they're like, oh, we need to biopsy because we can't, even though since day one we've kind of told you those sounds like pancreatic cancer, we still have to do some more tests. So Wednesday, August 12th, which is not that long ago, I went for my biopsy. And they said, we promise when we leave here, you will know what this is. So I went for my biopsy. They did the a bronchoscopy. They put me to sleep. This is my first time being put under. So I was like, I know you should be worried about the cancer and dying and stuff like that, but I was like, I've never been put under. What if I don't come back? I was really worried about it. So it was so easy. Oh my gosh. It was just like everybody said, like, it was crazy. I like was asleep and then I was awake and my son was there and he had a cowboy hat on that he didn't have on when he dropped me off and I was just like, what is going on? Am I dreaming? So they go down my throat, a bronchoscopy, put this tube down, and they put a needle. It's a needle aspiration, and they can take tissue out of your lungs and test it and know what kind of cancer it is. Like pancreatic cancer looks different from lung cancer, looks different from every kind of cancer. So I was like, that's really interesting. I thought cancer was just cancer, but it's not. So then they were like, we do think it came from your pancreas, but they kind of called it adenocarcinoma because it came from pancreatic glands. I think that's right. So, and it's run amok. So I was kind of given I haven't really talked like candidly with like the kids or whatever, but I'm just gonna, might as well. They did give me a 4 to 6 month with the standard of care. I've heard standard of care so much lately. I guess that's just chemo, but with the standard of care, a 4 to 6 month. That's from my scan, so we're probably down to like 4 months now. So I'm at work today. That means September, October, December. Oh, no one wants to. That's a bad traumatic memory. So we gotta last longer than December. But yes, that's what I was given. He said anything over that amount of time, you literally should mark it on your calendar and it should be received as a gift from God. So I am taking every day as a gift. So, yeah, I just wanted to film this so I could like let everyone know the story that has happened. So I don't have to repeat it a million times. I'm sure 90% of you have probably already heard it, but there it is. I love you guys, and then I hope this, we'll see. I'll have to talk with my little webmasters. Hopefully you'll be able to keep all these large storage videos on the website. So, all right. I love you guys. Bye.